call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the roll call show that the only director missing is Mr. Gentilini. And we'll continue with the principals.
I'll go first. I helped cover the Franklin and a lot of their summer prep activities this summer. So one of the things I put in front of you today is the updated Franklin handbook. As far as content goes, the only changes are to the attendance policy. We would prefer all parents call the office directly. Right now it's a mix of calling Mrs. Newcomb and the office. We'd like them all to go to the office, so we'll get the word out there. And then we added the grade scales to the handbook. So format-wise, it now matches the other two buildings. Other than that, it's just the content of those two things that changed, as well as updating all the names and switching to egschools.org and all those exciting things. The senior high handbook is in front of you. The only major change there is a glaring omission that I wasn't really aware of until last year. We didn't have a policy on public displays of affection in our handbook. We do now. We've enforced that rules regarding that, but now it clearly states it in our policy as to how those things should be handled. So that's the only addition in the senior high handbook. Lots of changes and new things going on around here. If you have time, take a walk down to the new gym. It is gorgeous. The first coat of sealant is down. There's a couple more coats to go, but we should be able to use the gym floor by next week. It's beautiful. If you are a friend out of our senior high Facebook page, you saw me post some pictures on there today. That was another thing I wanted to share with you. All three campuses now have a Facebook page. I also started a senior high principal Twitter feed. I'm new to Twitter, so if you want to wait a while to follow me, that's just fine with me. I'm learning that one. But the Facebook page has been great as far as sharing links to sign up for schedule changes, remind students of games that are coming up, those kinds of things. So we hope to keep those updated every day or two campus-wide. Our telepresence room is set up. I have a telepresence class scheduled that will be hosted here. The students from Ely and Mesabi East will be partaking in, but it doesn't start until semester 2. So we're one of the last schools to get hooked up, but the equipment was all set up as of today. We'll be connected to the brains that are hosted at the service co-op in the next few days. And hopefully sometime in the next couple of months, we'll be able to take you down there and give you a little tour of what it can do. But that is set up down there now. We used EIP funds to pay for that equipment in classrooms, as well as 15 laptops for use for students who are taking those classes in there.
Where is that classroom located?
It's right across from the office. We've been using it as a study hall room the last couple of years, so we'll go back to shuffling study hall around so that can just be a telepresence classroom.
Thank you.
We have new teachers coming on Monday for orientation, and we hope to connect them with their mentors if their mentors are free that day to meet for a while. And staff comes back on Tuesday. You are, of course, invited to the coffee at 7:30 that morning in the cafeteria in the senior high. In-service days are next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday is, again, a shared in-service at Virginia High School. Our teachers have responded very well to those shared in-service days because they get a chance to network with other teachers in the area and get a lot of professional development opportunities we couldn't necessarily give them here. Last thing is senior high open house. We're trying a different time this year to accommodate kids who are in sports and leaving for sports. So we are running a 3-hour open house from 2:30 to 5:30 on Thursday next week. And that's all.
That's 7:30, is that going to be at cafeteria?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, 7:30 to 8:30 is just coffee, and then we'll do some introductions.
And I also brought the updated handbooks. Junior high, same thing. There's no real policy changes, just some updated personnel and time schedules, student activity calendar, things like that. The Nell Sheen, the only policy change was actually we made the cell phone policy exactly the same as the junior high, so it's school-wide. At the Gilbert campus, they have their cell phones in their lockers and turned off during the day, and then they can have them in the evening when they leave. Those were the only changes there. Building is getting busy. We have volleyball starting today. There was kids down in the gym. We have our new teachers showing up and our veteran teachers showing up. So hooking them up with mentors and getting that ready. Open house for us is Thursday from 3 to 6, kind of staggered from the other campus. And we also have a Facebook page for the Nell Sheenan Junior High, and also the School Readiness ECFE has a Facebook page. Put out notifications. And Twitter is on its way when I learn how to use it.
Okay. Mr. Carey, would you like to do the Franklin now?
Letters went out last week to parents, so there's probably buzzing all over the place about who got what teacher. Our open house will be from 3:30 to 5:30 that same Thursday. And all the rest of them are. This one's only 2 hours because the Franklin staff schedules parent meetings shortly after school starts. And that information will be going out soon as school starts. We'll make sure that there isn't any overlap so all the parents can get to their kids' classroom. And then I would, the whole building has been abuzz this last week. Teachers coming in on their own time, getting the rooms prepared for open house and whatnot. And I'd just like to thank all of them for the work they're doing. I mean, it's really looking good over there. We did lots of deep cleaning on the floors and in rooms, and the building's really looking nice right now. So I'd like to thank all those folks.
Good, thank you. 5.0, visitor input. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board regarding an item that is not on the agenda? Seeing no one, we'll go on to 6.0, agenda changes and deletions.
I got a couple. One is going to be, and I'm not sure about the order of this because they're both kind of connected, but one will be under personnel 10.6. We're going to hire Brandy Lotiger for a 0.5 counselor in the Nell Sheen. She's currently 0.5 in the junior high, so that would be a total of 1.0, and that's eliminating ADAPT in the Nell Sheen. And that will be the second piece. It should be the first, but it falls in reverse order on the agenda. So, but 11.5 will be accepting the ADAPT contract for the coming year, and that is only for the Franklin this year. We won't do, and that's going to be cost neutral. The cost of hiring one is going to be about the same as what we're not paying for ADAPT. So.
Thank you. 7.0, approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Shanlob and Peterson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8.0, approve minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, August 10.
I'll move. Support.
Young and Shanlob. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 9.0, business office affairs. 9.1, approve the treasurer's report for the second check writing in August.
For the second check writing of August, all we had was disbursements of $213,532.49 to report. I make a motion to accept this report. I'll second.
Shanlob and 40. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 9.2, authorize business manager to provide oversight for non-audit services.
As we're heading into audit season, there are some services provided that need oversight by someone in our office, and that is typically authorized by the board every year. This would authorize Andrea to be that person.
I'll move.
I'll support. It's Young and Putzel. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 9.3, authorize Jeff Carey as signatory at the Franklin activity account and remove Sheena Stefanich as signatory for the Franklin activity account.
I'll move.
Support.
Second.
Go ahead.
Young and 40. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.0 Personnel. 10.1 Approve .55 FTE Secondary Teaching Appointment of George Harridan.
This is our transportation careers for first semester. George will be doing again.
So I'll make a motion.
Support.
Shanlob and Young. Any discussion? The only thing I would like to say regarding this is I think we owe Mr. Harridan
Oh,
a
yes.
huge thank you for continuing to come
Yes.
back and pull us
I-
out of the fire. He has been amazing for us, so I want that said. Any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.2 Approve 1.0 FTE Elementary Special Ed Teaching Appointment of Kaylee Hennon.
This is an appointment that will occur in the Franklin. This year we've previously had 2.0 FTE special ed, and given the numbers, we're dropping that down to 1. And that position was open, and Kaylee filled in, as you remember, as a long-term sub last year and did a very nice job for us.
And this is pending
She needs to get a variance,
the variance,
but
yes.
that
Okay.
process is
Yeah.
in place.
I'll move.
Support.
Young and Shanlog. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.3 Approve 1.0 FTE Secondary Phy-Ed Health Teaching Appointment of Jacob Soikanen.
This is a replacement for retirement over on the Gilbert campus.
I'll move.
Support.
Peterson and Young. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.4 Approve Cheerleading Advisor Appointment of Monica Olson. I'll move.
Okay. I'll support. I got a question.
Yes.
Was she in this position last year?
No,
This is a new position for her.
yes, the person that was in it before resigned a few meetings ago,
Okay.
and we've had it posted most of the summer, and she did
Is she
apply.
on staff already?
No,
Okay, some background check has been done?
yes.
Okay, that's all I have.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.5 Approve .15 FTE Elementary Art Teaching Appointment of Sharon Jensen.
Just one thing that I forgot to mention in the changes. The agenda that went out doesn't coincide with the enclosure. This is .15 FTE of elementary art.
Oh,
And the thing says Phy-Ed on your information letter. This is at the Nelshin. It's rounds it, fills out all of our needs there. So
I'll move.
Support.
Young and Shanlob. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.6, hiring Brandy Lotiger for .5 at the Nelshin.
like I said, this is a replacement for the ADAPT counselor that we have had.
And Brandy will be full-time now then? 1.0?
This will bring her to a 1.0
Okay.
then.
Good. I'll move. Support.
Forty and Young. Any discussion? Thank you, Brandy.
Yes, thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.0, new business. 11.1, approved credit card application.
I'll let Andrea explain this one. How about that?
Sure. In the past, 2 years ago, you approved the school to have a debit card so we could order off of Amazon, really is what we needed the debit card for. It hasn't been used as smoothly as a credit card would be. We had a hard time finding a credit card that was acceptable for school use. Candace Nellis, the previous business manager, and myself, a few months ago, were already looking into what we could use, and this is what we found. So we would like to proceed in the school to have the credit card approved. It would really just be for Amazon purchases that we have purchased there.
We can't just use a debit card that has the Visa logo on it? There's
We
a
can.
difference, or-
It comes straight out of our checking account, one of our checking accounts that we have. It's not as easy to keep track of all the purchases that are coming out of there, just for the fact that when we reimburse the account, we're always reimbursing it to the impressed fund instead of reimbursing it and having a really good itemization of all of the expenses that we have going out.
So this will give you a monthly itemized account,
And I mean, it's always
basically.
it's always itemized in our bank account.
But it's, yeah, I get it.
This would have more control. Debit accounts or debit cards sometimes
Aren't safe.
aren't as safe as a credit card.
Right, I get it.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Thank you. I'll move that we approve a credit card application based on what we've learned here.
I'll support.
Putzel and Peterson. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.2, presentation on the Minnesota coding cohort.
You got a scooch? Scooch a little?
This way? Okay, I think you all know who I am, but for those who might be less familiar, Lee Zika, I'm the school librarian and tech integration person over on the Gilbert campus. And last April, I got an email through my inbox that was from Code Savvy. It's an organization, it's a nonprofit organization, who feels like it's really important that we provide some coding and computer programming opportunities to kids from kindergarten to 8th grade, and that Minnesota as a state isn't doing particularly well at that right now. So they were looking for teachers who'd be willing to commit to a year of working on a cohort of looking at CSTA standards, which are Computer Science Teacher Association standards, and Minnesota State standards for computer science and computer programming, and how we might more effectively within our state and the schools within our state get those integrated into our K-8 particularly classrooms. Not that 9-12 isn't important, but they feel like it's very important that we initiate some of those opportunities for students to participate in some of those things at the K-8 level. And so that's kind of the focus. And so I sent that email to Jeff last spring because it would involve time away from work to be part of that cohort. And so I thought it would be important to get some approval administratively to do that. And he said it was okay. He provided some supportive information to them, and I applied to attend. You couldn't just say, yes, I want to be on the committee and be accepted. There was an application process. So at the conclusion of the application process, I got another email, and I was accepted to be part of this cohort. We had a 2-day Scratch camp in June for those of us who aren't particularly adept at using the Scratch programming language, which I was not. So I attended a 2-day Scratch camp in June. And we had a 2-day kickoff in August where we were at the Unisys Corporation down in the cities, which is an IT corporation. They do computer software engineering for things like airlines and things like that. And we had some representatives from them come and talk to us about why they felt it was important that we get some more computer science and computer programming opportunities into schools. We had Mark Paulson from the State Department of Education come and talk to us at our August kickoff as well, pledging his support to this cohort and the work that we might be able to accomplish over the upcoming year. So part of our participation in that cohort is to come back then to our home districts and present that information to our stakeholders here back at home. And so that's essentially what I'm here today to do. And if you give me 2 seconds to get the computer going.
I feel like no matter where I go, I'm right near one. Kathy, I'm sure you have, but will you put a notation in the minutes? Thank you.
Hold on one second.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that forgets them.
Tom, we're on 11.2. Yeah.
Okay. So this will just kind of catch us up to where we are right now. So computer programming, it's all those underlying zeros and ones that control computers, right? Why should we care about that? And the majority of us carry around miniature computers with us every single day. We have smartphones, tablets, and laptops. We have watches and fitness trackers, and they all run on code. Well, maybe not you, Keith. But many of us do, and they all run on code.
The majority of us.
Technology is all around us. It's in our cars, it's in our airplanes, it's in our homes. It's just pretty much everywhere you go. And we learn how to use it for the most part, but most of us don't really understand much about how it works. And why should we care? Again, this comes back to the code savvy philosophy. They feel like exposing students to coding and computer science from an early age helps to demystify the area. Something that can be intimidating, and it's highly creative, and it helps the students to develop problem-solving abilities, and as well as equipping them for a world that is full of technology, as well as computer or technology careers later on in life. The world is ever more tech-focused, and we need to try to match that in what we're doing educationally as well. And again, the skills that students develop through practicing coding in particular is a direct translation to skills they need in education, how to work through barriers, problem solving, higher order thinking skills. Okay, but not everyone is going to be a computer programmer. We know that. Why bring coding into school curriculum? Well, for the same reason, according to Clive Beale, we don't teach music in school to make everyone a concert violinist. We're not trying to make everyone a computer scientist, but what we're saying is this is how this stuff works. It's everywhere, and it's good for all of us to have some understanding of the basics of how it works. And besides which, some of our students might be really good at it, and it might lead to careers for them later on. Which brings us to the cohort. It's gonna load. Okay, so this was part of the email that came out last spring, looking for educators in the state who'd be willing to commit a year to working towards this. This is the purpose. I'll let you read that. I don't need to read it to you. Originally, they were looking for 20 elementary and middle school educators. They were able to get some more grant funding, and we now have 32 people in the cohort from across the state of Minnesota. The things that we'll be doing over the coming year is we'll be learning some different coding platforms. We'll be doing some hands-on exploration of apps
environments, and devices. We'll have access to some resources, equipment, and mentors. We'll be taking field trips to computer science-related companies such as Unisys, where we were in August. And we'll be doing some activities that help us, when we come back to our home districts, integrate coding into the elementary and middle school curriculum, which is part of what you're seeing all over the floor in the room today. So you're going to participate in an example of how we might get kids in a classroom integrating some computer coding skills with what they're already doing in school. And we will be, as part of our work, we're also going to be sharing curriculum-related coding resources with everyone back in our schools in the wider state. We have a website, we have Twitter handle, we have Google Plus community, and so we're trying to get the information out about what this cohort is going to be doing over the coming year. Some of the benefits to those who are in the group, and you can just kind of browse through those really quickly. Good to move on? That was our application window. And this is just a little bit more about the group that's sponsoring the cohort and all of the activities that we'll be participating in over the coming year. This is really slow. Give me a second, I'll get back to where we left off. So, this is where the interactive piece comes along. The first program that we learned how to do some programming in is called Scratch. Scratch is a computer language that was developed by MIT Media Lab back in 2003, but they continue to work with it and improve it. So that was one of the first coding languages that we learned this summer. So I put together a little Scratch program to share with you, because I thought you should participate in this. It'd be more fun than just listening to me. So, we'll take a look at the code first. One of the nice things about Scratch is you can see inside. So you can take a look at the computer programming. And on the bottom left, you'll see the little girl and the little Pix character and all these other little screens. Those are called sprites. So everything that you want that sprite to do in your computer code, you have to write the code for. It won't even show up on the screen if you don't tell it to show up on the screen. So if you look right here, where it says show, that's where that girl sprite is actually going to show up on the screen when the program gets to that part. And this is all the other stuff she is going to do over the course of this program that we're going to run. So that's her. This little guy also has all of his own code, which you have to write. He won't do anything if you don't tell him to. So this is all of his code that he's going to do. Each one of these also has some, but they don't have anything as elaborate to do, so they only have a little bit of code. And in the background, over here in this corner, you have a bunch of stages, and they're called backdrops. And those backdrops also have code that tell them when to show up and when to go away and what to do. And those you can see here. So that's kind of what it looks like. But in order for you to be able to participate, what I'm using here is called a makey-makey. That's a little kit like this. It costs about $50. In that kit there's a circuit board. I'll pass the extra one around. And what that circuit board does, it takes the place of the keyboard on your computer. So there's a wire running from that circuit board to the space bar, the mouse, different keys, the up-down arrow keys on your computer keyboard. And the wires are running to that circuit board, and that circuit board's running back to the laptop. So you guys are going to help me run the program. Right? When it comes to your card, whatever's on your table in front of you, and it tells you to push the up arrow. If you have the up arrow card, you need to tap whatever it is that's on your card. So Keith, when it says tap the up arrow to continue, you're going to tap the banana, because the wire is actually attached to the banana. And Mark, when it comes to you, we're going to have to actually hook up your Play-Doh. Okay, you might want to hang on to him a little bit. He might roll away. And Keith, you're going to do the marshmallows, or I'm sorry, Leon. And you might want to hang on to them because that wire wanted to come out. Oops, once before.
Mine's out already.
Here, hold on to that one right there.
You need training.
That's okay. All right. Maybe just hold the wire here.
Here we go.
Just hold it down or something so it doesn't fall
Spin
off.
around to the back so
There
it's
you go,
up close
perfect.
against it.
All right.
She didn't tell me to do that.
And in order to make a circuit, you have to have a ground. And so we also have a ground. So because Mr. Carey's got the mouse click, and a mouse click's what's going to start our program, he's going to hold the aluminum foil for the mouse click, and then he's going to tap the foil. Don't do it yet. Then he's going to pass that ground over to Tom. And then Tom, you've got the space bar, and that's the second thing we need to have happen to run our program. So you're going to hold the ground, and then you're going to tap the lemon. Then you're going to pass the ground on to Mike, and he's going to hold the ground, and he's going to tap any one of those graphite circles on your card. Doesn't matter which one. Then you're going to pass the ground to Mona, and when it tells us to use the left arrow, Mona, you're going to tap any metal part of the scissor.
Okay.
Then you're going to pass the ground to Keith, et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea?
When do I tap mine again? When do I tap mine again?
When it says press the up arrow to continue,
There?
it's going to tell you. Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay? I have confidence. All right. So we're going to make this full screen. And I'm just going to reload it so we can start at the beginning. All right. So Mr. Carey, I'm going to line up the arrow with the green flag. When you're running a scratch, green flag always means go. And you're going to hold your ground and tap your aluminum foil. Okay, good. Now you pass the ground on to Tom. Tom, you're going to do that and the lemon.
Hit the lemon.
Now wait. Everybody pass the ground on to Mike, Tom.
Like, oh,
No, just wait. It'll tell you. Okay, press the right arrow. That's you, Mike. Now pass the ground on to Mona. Okay, left arrow, Mona. Anywhere on the metal scissor. Okay, pass it on to Keith. Okay, they want the up arrow, so go ahead and tap the banana.
Down arrow.
Okay, go ahead. Once more, Leon. There we go. So thank you for playing. Good job. You did that really well.
Thanks for sporting up a board meeting.
What's that?
Thanks for sporting up a board meeting here.
Anyway, that's my presentation. I just wanted to come back and just let you know that we have a member of our school that's a part of this cohort. The next nearest one to us, there's one in Deer River and one in Duluth as well. Most of the rest of the group are from the central Minnesota and down to Rochester. So I'll keep you posted as the year goes by as to what we're up to, and maybe we can have some more fun at a future board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Say, Lee,
Thanks, Lee.
will this be used through the library system here with the students, or
The
is this going to be
library?
classroom?
Classroom.
Classroom?
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
Well, that does not require any action on our part. We've taken as many actions as we need to. 11.3, consider the facilities use agreement for the Tennis for All facility.
This is for the indoor facilities for boys and girls. It's both of them. It was $6,000 last year. They raised it to $6,500 this year.
I'll move.
Support.
Young and Shanlob, any discussion? Now, we have heard a number of complaints about this operation over the years. Are all those pretty much ironed out? And timing is no longer an issue, and,
I haven't heard any problems with. I mean, they've been able to get in when they need to. So.
okay. All right.
And they've used it plenty in the last week.
Definitely.
Weather-related, yeah. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.4, closed session to discuss AFSCME negotiations. Will continue with the agenda. Go into a closed session, come back and adjourn. 11.5,
You need a motion on that.
oh, I'm sorry, we do need a motion. I
So
apologize.
moved.
Second.
Sorry about that. Shanlob and Young, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 11.5, ADAPT contract.
This was tabled at the last meeting because we agreed that we would go back and look at the possibility of doing Gilbert on our own, and I did talk to Mary Carpenter, and they were fine with that. So there isn't really any change from the last time. That the hourly rates are still the same, but it's just they won't have anyone in Gilbert anymore.
I'll move that we approve the ADAPT contract.
I'll support.
Any further discussion?
Just one thing, if it's only going to be in Eveleth, it's just only for the elementary?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Good question. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 12.0, Superintendent's Report.
We got a few things. One, I just wanted to give you an update of how things are going building-wise for the summer. Most of the carpeting is done. The only rooms that they have yet to complete are the ones that we just approved at the last board meeting, the two kindergarten rooms in the Franklin. All the rest of it is done at this point. Just another side note, we had originally agreed to purchase a round bear logo as you're walking into the auditorium. That bear logo came here, and it did not was the kindest way I could put this. It didn't look real good.
Didn't meet expectations.
It didn't meet our expectations, and we sent it back, and the company said that they couldn't do any better, so we just scratched it, didn't purchase it. So that, it is what it is right now. But otherwise, the rest of it's all done, looks great. Franklin doors right now, I know that's the last thing on the IRRB project that we're waiting on. They've been working on that this week. They have the doors flipped around, all the hardware's on it. When I left there at 2 o'clock today, they were working on wiring the fob in, so I would anticipate they'll be done within the next day or two, and we should be all done then. That odor that you smelled when you walked in the door is they're working on painting lockers in this building right now. They're on the 2nd floor at the moment. They were saying probably by the end of this week, maybe early next week, they should be done with that. And as Jeanette mentioned in her report, the gym floor is, although it has had some delays, is the painting part of it's done. They need to put one more coat of sealer on it, and we should be playing on that by next Monday, but it does look beautiful. They did a very nice job on that. So.
Is the logo back on that floor then?
Hmm?
The logo is back on that floor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not in the same place it was, but yes.
No, but we had talked that had to be removed during the process of refurbishing.
The floor was completely sanded out.
Yep.
and repainted. So.
Okay.
With the personnel moves that we made tonight, all of our teaching positions are filled at this time, so we're ready to go. I still have some title positions to fill and some aides that are moving around depending on enrollment and whatnot. But as far as our teaching staff goes, we are ready to go for the beginning of the year. One thing I do want to mention is our early childhood numbers. Of course, the school readiness 4s, fast approaching 50 in that program. So I'm going to have to look into starting a 3rd room. That program starts on September 21st, so I have a little bit of time yet. But we're going to be looking at how we can rearrange things over there at the bottom floor of the Nalsheen to get a 3rd room in. Like I said earlier, when I thought this was going to happen, it is a good problem to have. So, and they're also, in Head Start, being by themselves, they also have a full room. So I mean, the 4-year-olds are pretty happy with that, with our enrollment, the number of kids that we have participating in our programs right now. So.
How's that working out with transportation?
It's
Are the majority of them
transportation,
asking for transportation? No. Oh, okay.
No, I'd say it's under half that want transportation.
Okay.
Most of the parents are still bringing their kids to the program. So, I would like to give a thanks to my admin team. We've had a pretty crazy summer. I think we got everything done now. They really stepped up and filled in for some of the gaps that were left, and I think we're ready to go for the school year. So I do want to thank them for the extra work that they put in, and that even includes Kathy. I mean, if it weren't for her, our bus program would be struggling right now. So she's really stepped up and helped us out with that. And I guess finally, I'd like to thank Lee for wanting to be a part of that cohort. I mean, it's pretty exciting that we are the only ones that have. We're kind of at the forefront of that, and hopefully we can get something going in our classrooms this year. And it's pretty exciting stuff. So that is all I have.
Thank you. We'll go on to board member topics. Director Chad?
I've got nothing.
Mr. Shanlop?
Nothing at this time?
Mr. Porter?
I'll pass.
Thank you. Mr. Young?
I heard, my wife told me I have an email at home, which I haven't been home yet to find out for about Chickagami.
Yes, there should be, and I can copy that for you too, but I did send out we did agree when we signed the lease that there would be a monthly update on Chickagami, so I did pass that along to you today.
Oh, okay. Thought it was something fantastic, like the breaking ground or something.
No, it's just the monthly update.
Okay, well, thank you.
Mr. Peterson?
Oh, I just wanted to share, I was, maybe you guys know, our family was invited to Mr. Ed's farm over by Hibbing.
Okay.
and talking to them. It was like a birthday party for a bunch of little kids, and they basically bring them around on a little horse carriage and showing them the kids how to make grain, and they go as far as they have little programs to, you know, harvest and plant, and I mean, it's just a farm, right? Working farm, and they invite little kids to come and learn, and the kids made rope yesterday. That was kind of cool. But in conversation, they said that they have area schools go out there for field trips and stuff, and I just figured I didn't know if it was on our radar or not. They're close, they're only by Cherry out there, so I mean, just, they said mostly it's Head Start, preschool, and kindergartners. The older kids, they kind of lose, maybe a little not into it or something, but
I'll pass that on to those folks.
yeah, just threw it out there. That's all I had.
Mr. Gentilini?
No, nothing.
All right, and I have nothing. Well, I take that back. One quick thing. I want to say congrats for our football team. Go Bears. They did a really nice job on Saturday.
Yes.
So we have to acknowledge that. Everyone had an opportunity to put their 2 cents worth in. I'm always accused of skipping somebody. All right, we can go on to our closed session unless there's something I've overlooked. All right, we'll go into closed session, then we'll come back and adjourn.